Welcome back in. It's time to talk about your money and how to protect it. To protect yourself from someone trying to open up credit using your identity, you might remember us recommending you put a freeze on your credit. But what is a credit freeze? How do you establish it? What are the pros and cons? Joining us this morning is financial expert Stewart Welch of the Welch Group to help you navigate this process. Good to see you this morning, Stewart.
Good morning, Mike.
First of all, explain what a credit freeze is.
Well, I think the first thing is that fraud and identity theft are alive and well. In fact, they are thriving. So people need to come up with some strategies to protect themselves. And probably one of the very best is a credit freeze. And a credit freeze is where you go into literally all of the credit bureaus, and that's going to be TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You're going to set up an account, so that is free. And once you set that account up, you're going to let credit freeze. And what that does is that locks down that account. And that means anybody making an inquiry to set up credit in your name won't be able to do that because they'll be frozen out. And identity thieves, they actually, when they're trying to steal your identity, they're trying to open an account, and if they can't get there, if they can't get that report, then they can't do that.
Yeah, and if you once you get your credit report, see this credit card open up in your name with tons of charges, you're really in trouble trying to get that rectified. So what about the options, though? How long should you keep that credit freeze in place?
Yeah, so there's temporary freeze and there's a permanent freeze, and I would elect to do the permanent freeze. That way you don't have to think about it. Again, you want to do it with all three of the credit bureaus. So for example, now if you decided you were going to buy a car and you were going to get a loan, the loan company cannot get into that credit. So what you have to do is you have to go into the credit bureaus and temporarily unfreeze it. So I did this recently. It took literally 2 or 3 minutes. And I unfroze them, but I put a request in there for it to lock back down in 30 days, so I didn't have to think about it. So it's real easy to put the credit freeze on. It's very easy to lift the credit freeze temporarily and have it automatically go back on, or either you can do it yourself on a manual basis.
You know, it's very important you bring that up because there are some people who say, I don't want to go through that hassle. So for that process to be relatively easy, that makes it easier. Now, did you call the credit bureau, or did you just do it online?
Yeah, everything was online. It's like 1,000 times easier if you do it online. And so that's like the first part of how you're going to protect yourself. The second part is you want to put alerts around your credit card. So the way that works is you go to your credit card company and you tell them, anytime I charge, and you pick a dollar number, but say $20, I want to get an alert directly to as a text to my phone, knowing that happened. So literally, I'll go into the grocery store, and by the time I get to my car, I get an alert that I did that. That way, if somebody stole your credit card information and started using your credit card, you're going to know about it really quickly. And then the final one is you can, with some banks, put alerts on a bank's when there's transaction activity. Otherwise, you need to check the bank daily.
Yep, good advice right there, Stewart Welch, for everybody to stay on top of what's going on with their money and protect it. Stewart Welch from the Welch Group, we do appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Well, still ahead now, we're going to be talking about the Good Day Buzz, but we got also several more stories about this.